of a preacher man.
Ain't no lot to see.
All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on. Got so far with my head in the clouds, now it's time to get down.
You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burt-Godwin. We have a special guest. She's back again. She's been on the show before. She is a mind performance coach. She's started the Mind Fundamentals to improve mental performance daily. Welcome back to America Trends, Lindsey Paoli. Can you hear me?
Thank you so much, Mary. Yes, this is my third time back. I'm so excited.
Oh, it's third.
Thank
Gosh.
you.
Oh my gosh. I'm losing track. That's amazing. Well, we love having you on. And, you know, because I love the topic, a lot of the topics that you talk about. Also, I know that you were part of Living a Legacy book with Rebecca Caffiero, which I love the concept. I'm through some of the stories, but, you know, I just love this concept of women entrepreneurs helping each other and trying to find what their legacy is going to be. In life, because I think, you know, that gives us purpose and something to shoot for. You also were named top 100 women of influence in Las Vegas and top 25 coaches to look out for in Soulish magazine. That's pretty awesome. So you live there now, right?
Yeah.
You're in Vegas?
I do. I've been in Vegas for about 20 years now, so it is definitely home.
How are you a person that stays away from the slot machines?
100%. I'll do some table gaming every now and again, but the slot machines are actually tied into our topic today of distractibility. They're designed to keep you distracted and hijack your focus. So
oh my gosh, absolutely. We'll talk about that. But I will say really quickly that the tables I used to play years ago when it was like $2 tables. Now I recently went to somewhere and there was $25 minimum. I thought, I'm out.
Minimum.
I'm out. This is not for me anymore.
They'll get you quick.
Yeah, they're trying to make up for lost time during COVID, I think. So let's talk about this attention span issue that we have. This Microsoft study saying we have the attention span of goldfish. So what do you think? How does this come to be? I mean, I have some guesses, but I want to talk about this. Yeah.
So the irony is, in the time since starting this discussion for this interview, I've since come across more information that it turns out that the entire Microsoft study was not even accurate, which does tie into our distractibility because so there was a great Forbes article written earlier this year debunking that Microsoft statistic. And in fact, we are more highly distractible, but our focus has not declined. And they actually cited studies from Netflix, which showed we can hyperfocus for incredibly long periods of time. We're just not trained in how to manage and navigate our focus very well. And so this is becoming really prevalent in the work that I do with corporations because a lot of company leaders and owners are feeling that their employees are less motivated, they're unable to take on tasks in a more timely manner. And so we're getting a lot of discussions about ADHD and focus in general in the workplace, as well as at schools and other places where mind performance is necessary.
So let's talk about that a little bit. I actually just was talking to some friends about one of my daughters, and I was describing her personality as being distractible and not turning stuff in and all this stuff. And they said, Mary, she is she's textbook ADHD. And I was like, no. And I just didn't think about it or anything. And it turns out I'm going to actually have her take a psych eval. But in my mind, I think I go straight to Adderall and these drugs, and then that's not where I'm going to go with her. So But I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm open to learning about this and hearing more about it. And then I think hearing people as adults are getting diagnosed with it. And I think, God, do I have it?
Exactly.
So talk about this. Yeah.
This is exactly why I wanted to talk about this. I am 39 years old. I was only diagnosed 4 years ago. I've always been a high achiever. It's absolutely true that women are getting diagnosed more regularly right now. Statistically, the average age of diagnosis was 7, and we were diagnosing it primarily in boys. And the more the science is uncovering, we're recognizing that it just appears differently between boys and girls, and that distractibility and a lot of the characteristic traits just show up differently as opposed to hyperactivity that we can see in young children. It becomes kind of like an organized chaos in the way that the brain functions. And so you're absolutely accurate that women are getting diagnosed between the ages of 30 and 40 more regularly now. And chances are, if she does have it, you also have it, because there's a high genetic predisposition that's passed on. It's hereditary. But I also love that you said that you are fearful of the Adderall route, because that's exactly the holistic approach that my practice takes as well, is not necessarily medicating the symptoms, but creating awareness and education around the very different ways that the brain can function, finding the strengths in the differing variations, and mitigating some of the frustrating aspects that can at it.
Yeah,
the awareness is the key to it all.
That is one of the reasons why, because I do think as a culture, a society, we throw pills at it, throw medicine at it, and I just am not in that camp. So, I mean, if you need it and it can help you, yes, but I feel like we're over-medicating as a society and whole. So talk to me about what people can do, you know, if a woman is watching this and she's like, okay, what are the symptoms? What should I be looking for? And then what are the next steps that they should take?
Yes. So some of the...
Not just women, by the way. I should clarify that. Not just women, men as well.
Yeah, men as well.
Yeah.
Some of the hidden symptoms that kind of started uncovering this, even for me along my journey, was patterns of binge eating, which was the thing that uncovered it for me. Is I was not necessarily a binge eater. I just would go for very long periods of time without eating. And then when it was time to eat, I had to eat everything in sight because my blood sugar was completely dysregulated. And then that further deteriorates your focus. That comes from ADHD has lower levels of dopamine naturally. And so they're constantly seeking dopamine. So they tend to be more distractible, but it's because they're seeking dopamine in different areas of life. The ways that a typical person who has a normal dopamine processing brain doesn't have to. So some of those other symptoms could also be time blindness is one of them. Dopamine seeking creates both hyperfocus and then kind of a burnout that comes after that ability to hyperfocus, which I call a superpower of ADHD. We're able to identify what we really love by what we can dive into and hit that flow state and just stay there for 5 hours. And then we look up and we're like, what just happened?
Well, yeah.
So some of those patterns can seem really frustrating to the quote unquote normal person. But once it's understood and you create some tools and strategies around it, you can also use them for good. So
if somebody is curious about this, they should go to your website. Yeah, lindseypaoli.com. Am I saying that right? Paoli?
Paoli, yes.
Okay, good. lindseypaoli.com or find you on Instagram at Lindsey_Paoli. I think this is a really important topic for people to look into if they're curious and they can help. They're not just bad people, or sometimes I think this is just my personality, but maybe I could use some tips from you.
Yes,
so thank you so much for joining us.
I'm holding a workshop next May 17th, so next Wednesday.
Okay, great. We'll look her up and
address some of these symptoms and tools.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lindsey, for being with us again. We'll have you back again next month. Everyone at home, stick around for more America Trends.